Clear! Alrighty, well, we are in Zihuatanejo, Mexico. And we are going to be flying from Zihuatanejo to Acapulco, which is about an hour flight. So flight plan, press the button here, rotate to the right, rotate to the right. I'm going to go ahead and use the keyboard. And the keyboard, press that button, you got the keyboard. So it's Mike, Zulu, Hotel. Take off the keyboard and then press enter. No runway, en route. Oh, we want to do, by the way, we want to do 7,000. So we're going to go 7,000 on our altitude. Our destination, to the right here. No, to the right on that one. To the right again. You can go to the right. Put in all the characters, but what we're going to do is we're going to use the keyboard, Mike, Alpha, Alpha. And that is Acapulco, Mexico. Press enter, and none. And that should do that. Now, we don't have anything en route. Go ahead. I got everything set up now. I got my lights on. Last flight I forgot to turn on my lights, but anyway, I got all my lights on. I set the transponder, turn that on. And I'm going to go ahead and contact ground. And we are going to be actually, if you look on the map, it's actually more to
Zihuatanejo ground Cessna November Charlie
77
Charlie Charlie ready to taxi east departure.
Turn it down a little bit.
Cessna November Charlie 77 Charlie Charlie taxi 2 and hold short of runway 27 via taxiway.
27.
Contact tower on 118 decimal tree when ready.
Taxi 2 and hold short runway 27 via taxiway Cessna 7 Charlie Charlie.
Off we go. We got a little bit of a side wind today. This is real-time weather, real-time time. Take off from here. We don't have to go all the way to the end, I don't think. Maybe not. So I'm giving me the opportunity. You can see that windsock right there. Really pushing off to the side, so we do have quite a side wind here. I have to back taxi all the way to runway 27. So actually get on the runway, back taxi. I'm not understanding why ATC's not giving me the opportunity to contact the tower. Okay, there we go.
Zihuatanejo Tower, Cessna
Take it
November
off,
Charlie,
put it back
77
on.
Charlie Charlie, ready for east departure at runway 27.
Cessna November Charlie, 77 Charlie Charlie, altimeter
29.85.
200.85, wind 1905 at 10.
19 or 5
East
at
departure
10.
approved. Cleared for takeoff runway 27.
So the altimeter set correctly.
Cleared for takeoff runway 27 Cessna 7 Charlie Charlie.
Off we go. Right rudder here. Power is at full. Airspeed is alive. Rotated about 55. Rotate. I'm really flying with the rudder there to the left. And we got autopilot. So that keeps her rolling our pitch, synchronize the heading. We'll go flight level change and then heading, and then I'm going to hit nav. And we'll go ahead and
Cessna
bring
7
the
Charlie Charlie, continue for
plane
east
toward
departure.
the east.
Zihuatanejo Tower, Cessna November Charlie 77 Charlie Charlie, continue for east departure.
Okay, the GPS is taking over now. There's one of the beautiful beaches there in Zihuatanejo. Real-time weather. Got some mountains to climb over. And we'll go ahead and bring our nose down a little bit to about 75 knots to the best rate of climb, or the best rate of climb. Backing off now a little bit on my mixture. We'll go ahead and back up on our range here. This is real-time weather, and looking at the sky vector real quickly. This is the sky vector, and we do have some weather off. The reason why I said east, of course, is now we are going probably more east than we are south. And this is our flight plan from Zihuatanejo to Acapulco, all along the coast here. And if you look at world low right here, it calls for 7,000 feet. So that's 7,000 right there. So we're doing 7,000 feet. And if you look at this right here, onto the right there, just after, let's see, it's Mike Mike Alpha Alpha 04224 Zulu 18004 KT. So 180, that's the direction of the wind, and then 4 knots, that 04 KT, that's the knots. So
Cessna 7 Charlie Charlie, leaving my airspace, frequency change approved.
go ahead and contact.
Zihuatanejo Tower, Cessna November Charlie 77 Charlie Charlie, frequency
following.
change. Zihuatanejo approach Cessna November Charlie 77 Charlie Charlie is type Cessna Skyhawk 3 miles southeast of Zihuatanejo, 2,500 feet. Request flight following.
Cessna November Charlie, 77 Charlie Charlie, Zihuatanejo approach. Squawk 1624.
1624.
Cessna 7 Charlie Charlie, radar contact 4 miles southeast of Zihuatanejo, 2,800 feet. Altimeter 29.85.
Real-time weather, real-time time.
Roger, Cessna 7 Charlie Charlie.
Testing 1, 2, 3, 4. Testing, testing, testing. Okay, so far I'm not hearing any crackling sound, so hopefully we don't get that during this flight. But apparently, GeForce Experience is notorious for producing crackling sounds. I changed the drone a little bit. Now it is kind of askew a little bit, so let me go ahead and scope it out. But what I did on the drone is on my, let me just show you real quick. On my control options here, I have the controller right here for the drone, and then the camera, the drone camera. I took off the roll to the left and roll to the right. So theoretically, when it, anyway, what I want to do is I want to keep the drone horizontal instead of rolling to the left, rolling to the right. I was always fighting that, and always fighting the, and you know, I would just always have to roll to the left, roll to the right. So I took those two controls out. It was my right, yeah, my LB and my RB on my control, so I can still straighten it out, but it doesn't roll to the left or roll to the right anymore. So I did that because I was just getting very annoyed every time I would try to get my drone out there, and sometimes I would hit it accidentally too, and then it would roll to the left. But anytime I'd get my drone out there, it would always just kind of roll to the left and roll to the right, and it would just, to me, it was very annoying. So I just took those controls out of there. I was thinking, yeah, I wish Microsoft Flight Simulator would do something about it. Well, I actually had the power to do something about it by going into the settings. So now I'm having, whenever I reset to the plane here, I don't have any control at all, and I have to just kind of jiggle around some controls a little bit, and I finally get control of it. But reset to the plane here. I'm going left on my joystick. Okay, there we go. And so it takes a little bit for it to say, hey, we're here. But anyway, we are climbing 5,000 or about 2,000 away from the altitude that we're assigned. And what I want to do real quick is I want to enter here. We do have an ATIS here. So on number 2 right here, I'm going to switch this to number 2, and I want to put this number 12230 right here. So the way I do that is just press the button here, bring this down here, and then when I press enter, you can see it right there. When I press enter, it'll go right there. So enter, and there it is, 122.300. I'll make that active on COM2. I'll turn on COM2 when we're in range. We'll go ahead and we will hear. And once we find out well, which runway is going to be active, then we'll set up our ILS. So we'll get to that in a minute. We are climbing into some clouds here. Looks like we are above any of the mountains there. We are pretty much along the side there. We do have some weather to our left. We do have actually a few mountains right here that we're going to be flying over. And I think we at 7,000 again, the sky vector calls it 7,000. So 7,000 will be plenty. Kind of want to look at maybe the Google Maps here, and this is where we took off from. We are just about now, I believe, over Tecpán, Mexico, and there's a real tropical area actually all along here. And of course our destination, Acapulco, which is right here. Acapulco. We'll talk about that here in a minute. And we're flying over a Tecpán and Tapanoa, Puerto Vicente, Guerrero. We'll be flying over San Luis de la Loma, Tecpán de Galeana, San Geronimo de Juarez, Oyuca de Benitez, Los Magotes, Acapulco. Acapulco, of course, being a very popular area. So we are now at altitude. You can tell the difference in the motor actually when we reach altitude. Once we hear the difference. I'm backing off our prop to RPMs to about, I like to take it to the top of the grade. I would imagine in real life they would probably bring it right there in the middle somewhere, 2400 or something. But I think, well, let me test this a little bit. I'm bringing this to the top there. It's 2500. Does that change our speed that much? It's 102. We'll bring it down to 2400. See if it adjusts our speed at all. 2400, yeah, it's 101. It's dropping down a little bit. 99, 98. I got a half a tank of fuel, or got a 50% fuel when we took off.
Acapulco Airport
There we go. We have the
Charlie
ATIS now.
2300
Acapulco.
Wind 177 at 5. Visibility 7. Sky condition. Few clouds at 2,500
28
feet.
is in use.
Temperature 30. Dew point 10. Altimeter 29.85. ILS 1 runway 28 in use. Landing and departing runway 28. VFR aircraft say direction of flight. All aircraft read back hold short instructions. Advise controller on initial contact you have Charlie.
Okay, so we have Charlie. ILS 28 is in use. So going back to this now we have our primary navigation lit up right there. This is standby, of course. This is active. And then we'll press enter again on that. We'll press the button, and that's ILS 28 in use. So 1099. I'm going to put 1099 right into there. So press enter. And so now we got 1099 there. I'll make that active. And to monitor it, to find out when we're in range, I'm going to press nav 1. And so when we're in range now, of course, we'll pick up the characters right there. It'll be India, Mike, Alpha, Alpha. It'll be IMAA. I do assume that it'll be IMAA. There are two ILSs, so it might be a different character. Actually, we can find that out maybe through Skynet. But anyway, we'll hear the Morse code. We know it's 109. We know it's the right frequency. We know it's 111. Right? So we'll hear the Morse code for it, and we'll know that we're in range. What I want to do now is I want to set my approach, and we are going to do the ILS 128. That's what she said, right? Let's go ahead and listen to that again, or look at that. We'll come to
Acapulco Airport information.
So yeah, that would be ILS 1,
Zulu.
runway 28.
Wind 1.
So that's interesting that ILS 1, ILS 2. So we'll go ahead and press enter on that. And then we have vectors, or we have ACA or Delta 103 Juliet for our initial approach phase. ACA is our initial approach fix. I guess that'll be flying right over the runway, and then we'll go ahead and do ACA. And then we'll go ahead and load that. And load.
128.5 for Cessna 7 Charlie Charlie.
So we are at altitude right now. And our final approach fix on here. This is the way I do it now. If this is the way it's done in real life, I don't know. But final approach fix has 1,300 feet for our final approach fix. So what I want to do is I'm going to go ahead and assign altitude now to 1,300. So 1,300 feet. And then what we're going to do is we're going to click the vertical navigation button right here. That loads our vertical path. And then we will automatically descend. And looking at our flight plan here, we are 41 minutes away from our descent. And so when we get to our initial approach fix, we'll be at 3,000, and then we're circling around down to 1,300. And we'll go ahead and switch to CDI. I don't know if the CDI stands for course deviation indicator. And but when we get there, when we're flying our pattern there, I do believe that the CDI might, since I'm flying ILS and I got ILS loaded here, I'm thinking that the CDI will switch automatically to nav mode or to radio mode. Right now it's on GPS mode. So real-time weather. This is the 4th of July. Happy 4th of July, everyone. If you hear a loud pop or a bang or something, I have my dining room window open. So that loud bang is not a gunshot. It's probably somebody just firing off their M80s. So we have the drone now. That sits on our drone. We'll go ahead and use this right here. Look at these beaches here. All these beaches, pristine beaches. A little community right there. But these pristine beaches with no hotels or no big, huge tourist centers. Imagine some of these beaches are just probably marvelous. Look at this one right here. So we got some like a cliff area right there. I'm going to go ahead and freeze the drone here, and we'll go ahead and see if we can see this right here on the map. And that would probably be right over here. So that would be this that we're flying over. So Puerto Vicente, Guerrero. And then hop back into our... Let me see if I can even pronounce that correctly. Let's get back to the plane there. Hi Bing, can you tell us about Puerto Vicente, Guerrero, Mexico? It's spelled...
Searching for Puerto Vicente, Guerrero, Mexico. Sure, I can tell you about Puerto Vicente, Guerrero, Mexico.
Thank you.
It is a community of fishermen located in the municipality of Tecpán de Galeana in the state of Guerrero. It has about 564 inhabitants and it is at 4 meters of altitude. It is also known as Puerto Escondido, and it was named after the insurgent hero Vicente Guerrero in 1984. Puerto Vicente Guerrero is a perfect place to enjoy the beaches of Guerrero, which are famous for their natural beauty and tourist appeal. The climate of the area is warm subhumid with an average temperature of 26 degrees Celsius. You can find a fishing pier, cooperatives, and local shops where you can buy fresh seafood at affordable prices. You can also practice fishing, diving, and other water activities. In fact, every year there is a big tournament of sailfish fishing. If you are interested in visiting Puerto Vicente Guerrero, you can find some travel guides and maps online. It is a great destination to experience the culture and nature of Guerrero. It is a great destination to experience the culture and nature of Guerrero.
So yeah, she has a tendency for repeating the last line there. I guess she wants to make the point clear. But anyway, that is pretty interesting how Bing AI, that's what I'm using, is Bing AI. And It's interesting how it's just that small little community right there, how thorough of information that Bing AI has on it. So,
I'm glad you find it interesting.
yeah.
I'm using artificial intelligence to generate my responses, but I also try to be engaging and informative. Sometimes I may repeat myself to emphasize a point or to make sure you understand me.
Oh, you're awesome.
Sometimes I may repeat myself to emphasize a point or to make sure you understand me.
I understand. I understand Bing AI. Thank you very much.
You're very welcome. Is there anything else you would like to know or talk about? Is there anything else you would like to know or talk about?
Okay. Yeah, tell us about Acapulco, Mexico.
Searching for Acapulco, Mexico. Acapulco is a city in the state of Guerrero on the Pacific coast of Mexico. It is one of the oldest and most famous beach resorts in the country, attracting millions of visitors every year. It is known for its natural beauty, nightlife, cuisine, culture, and sports. Acapulco has a long and rich history, dating back to the pre-Columbian era when it was a trading center for the Aztecs and other indigenous peoples. In the 16th century, it became an important port for the Spanish colonial empire, connecting Mexico with Asia and Europe. In the 17th and 18th centuries, it was frequently attacked by pirates and privateers. In the 19th century, it played a role in the Mexican War of Independence and the Mexican Revolution. In the 20th century, Acapulco became a popular destination for Hollywood stars, jet-setters, and tourists from all over the world, thanks to its glamorous hotels, casinos, clubs, and beaches. It was featured in many movies, TV shows, and songs such as Elvis Presley's Fun in Acapulco, The Love Boat, and Acapulco by Luis Miguel. It also hosted many international events such as the Mexican Open Tennis Tournament, the Acapulco International Film Festival, and the Cliff Diving World Series. In the 21st century, Acapulco has faced some challenges, such as crime, violence, pollution, and competition from other resorts. However, it has also made efforts to improve its security, infrastructure, environment, and tourism offer. It has diversified its attractions, catering to different types of travelers, such as families, couples, backpackers, and adventurers. It has also preserved its traditions, such as the famous La Quebrada cliff divers, the Zocalo Square, and the Fort of San Diego Museum. If you are interested in visiting Acapulco, you can find more information on travel guides and websites online. You can also check the travel advisory from the U.S. Department of State before you go, as it warns about some risks in Guerrero State.
And of course, that would be with going to any place there. But yeah, so I think people like Elvis Presley made Acapulco pretty popular, famous. Hey, Frederick, thanks for joining us. We're flying to Acapulco, Mexico. This is real-time weather and real-time time. And looking at the plane here. I'm flying today with my flight instructor. Here she is. And this is real-time weather, real-time time. We are, it's about an hour-long flight. We are at altitude. We got a 6-knot headwind, and we are about 31 minutes away from our top descent. And we have everything all set up. I have my ILS set up. I have my ATIS set up. We'll go ahead and turn that on again, see if there's anything that's
Acapulco
changed.
Airport information, Delta 2300 Zulu.
Still,
Wind 175
everything's all the
at 4.
same.
Visibility 7. Sky condition. Few clouds at 2,500 feet. Few clouds at 4,900 feet. Temperature 30. Dew point 10. Altimeter 29.85. ILS 1 runway 28 in use. Landing and departing runway 28. VFR aircraft say direction of flight. All aircraft read back hold short instructions. Advise controller on initial contact you have Delta.
Okay, so yeah,
Acapulco Airport information, Echo 2.
we have. Oh, wait a minute. I just noticed it said we have
Acapulco
Delta.
Airport
Now it says we
information,
have
Echo
Echo.
2300 Zulu.
Okay, still the
Wind
same.
175 at 4.
She said just a
Visibility
minute
7.
ago that I had Delta.
Sky condition. Few
So
clouds
now
at
I have
2,500 feet. Few clouds at 4,900 feet. Temperature 30. Dew point 10. Altimeter 29.85. ILS 1 runway 28 in use. Landing and departing runway 28. VFR aircraft say.
Okay, so 9:30 in the morning there in Australia. Did they celebrate 4th of July over there? Probably not, but I would imagine they might. I have references to it. My aunts in Germany, they texted me and wished me a happy 4th of July. And of course my Aunt Renata, she put in a picture of Elvis Presley. And Elvis Presley being very popular in Germany. And she really loved Elvis Presley back in the day when she was a teenager. When Elvis Presley was stationed in Germany. And let me just say, to this day, she really loves him. Even now to this day. So we actually went to Elvis Presley's old hometown where he was stationed. And they had a commemoration over there. All kinds of American cars there. There was even a Mercury Cougar. My dad owned a 67 Mercury Cougar. He bought it brand new in 1967. And, but anyway, that commemoration in Germany, there was a Mercury Cougar there. It was just pristine condition. All kinds of different cars, Cadillacs, and it was a lot of fun. But anyway, so we are pretty much just in between here. We got a river over here coming up. Let's go ahead and look at our map here. And so we're past this area here. We're coming up now to just about this area here, I do believe. We got, let's see, right there. So about right over this area right here. So, Tecpán de Galeana. Tecpán de Galeana. Tecpán de Galeana. I'm saying it several times because I want to ask Bing now about Tecpán de Galeana. Tell us about Tecpán de Galeana.
Searching for Tecpán de Galeana.
Tecpán de Galeana.
Tecpán de Galeana is not a place, but a historical event that took place in the region of Tecpán de Galeana in the state of Guerrero, Mexico. It was a battle between the Spanish colonial forces and the indigenous rebels led by Jose Maria Morelos during the Mexican War of Independence in 1811.
So,
the battle resulted in a victory for the rebels, who captured the town of Tecpán and its port and inflicted heavy losses on the Spanish troops. Tecpán de Galeana is a municipality and a city in the Costa Grande region of Guerrero on the Pacific coast of Mexico. It has an area of 2,537.8 square kilometers and a population of 62,071 inhabitants as of 2010. It is known for its beaches, such as Papanoa and San Luis de la Loma, its fishing activities, its cuisine, especially seafood and ceviche, and its history, as it was the birthplace of Vicente Guerrero, another hero of the Mexican independence. If you are interested in visiting Tecpán de Galeana, you can find more information on travel guides and websites online. You can also...
Okay. So yeah, Tecpán de Galeana. Yeah, looks like a pretty important river right there. Going back to our, so that would be Tecpán de Galeana, and then the river right there. So we are now looking at Tecpán de Galeana, right below us right now. Get the pitot heat on. I really don't need the pitot heat on, so I'm just turn that off. I turned on all the lights, turned on the pitot heat just by default. I live in the Northwest, so the outside air temperature plenty warm enough. You don't have to worry about the pitot heat. Well, my last flight, I flew the whole flight without turning on the lights, and I'm like, come on now, check this. So there's Tecpán de Galeana. Doesn't look like they have any runways here. River runs through it. Alright, we are now 23 minutes away from top of descent. Going 119 knots true airspeed, 103 knots indicated airspeed with a 5-knot headwind. So your neighbors don't celebrate the 4th, plus when you join, you got home from work. So do you work the night shift over there in Australia, Pedro? There's the rest of the river there going to the ocean, to the Pacific Ocean. I was watching some documentaries. Of course, everybody knew about that submersible Ocean Gate that imploded. But anyway, so of course, Dr. Robert Ballard, the guy that discovered the Titanic, they asked for his comment on it. But of course, whenever you look up something on YouTube, there's always this related information. And there was some of the footage there of Dr. Robert Ballard interviews and lectures and whatnot of when he first discovered the Titanic. And of course he's discovered many other ships since and explored them, even ancient mariner ships. And it's just really interesting listening to him talk about all of his explorations. He was a commander in the Navy. And the actual, he put out that he was searching for the Titanic to the public at the time. But the actual thing that he was doing was he was looking for the Scorpion and another submarine. Both of them, I can't remember the other submarine. But the two submarines, let's see, the two submarines that Dr. Robert Ballard was exploring. Just looking it up real quick. There was this Thresher, the USS Thresher, and then the Scorpion. And happened to be that the Titanic was smack dab in the middle. And so what he did, he did his assigned task as a commander in the Navy, looking for the Scorpion and the Thresher. And he found them both, and then he got a hint of actually how to search for the Titanic. And the hint was to not look for the Titanic itself, but to look for the debris field. And so he found the debris field and finally found the Titanic. Come to find out, he did use some French explorer technology as well as his own technology. And so there was kind of like a collaborative effort there from the French. But come to find out, and I can't remember the French explorers name, but they missed the Titanic by just a mere 300 yards. So they missed discovering it first before he did by just a mere 300 yards. So I thought that was really interesting. Of course, the Titanic with Dr. Robert Ballard on the map, and of course he has explored lots of other ships since then. There is one National Geographic documentary called The Lost Fleet of Guadalcanal. One of my favorite documentaries of all time. And what he did is he went off the islands of Guadalcanal there and dove on the various ships, Australian ships, Japanese ships, and of course American ships. And he brought the veterans with him, and so they were describing and telling their story, and of course exploring the Titanic, or not the Titanic, but their own ships. The one Australian ship, I think, was the Canberra, and he had an Australian veteran that he was interviewing, and some Japanese veterans. There was a coast watcher from Great Britain that was on Guadalcanal, and he was sharing his story. Everybody was sharing their story. It's just one of the best documentaries that I've ever seen. It was produced in the 90s, I think the early 90s, and the name of it is The Lost Fleet of Guadalcanal. So if you ever get a chance, check out The Lost Fleet of Guadalcanal. Very interesting. One of my favorites. And Dr. Robert Ballard, right now in his 80s, and just a very good man. Another city that we're looking at there. Really quickly, and that would be probably this one right here. So that's Otoyac de Alvarez and San Geronimo de Juarez. Just about over the coast. We are 16 minutes, 0.5% real-time weather. Check the ATIS one more time. We had echo last time.
Acapulco Airport information, Echo 0000 Zulu. Wind 175 at 4. Visibility, tree. Sky conditions, few clouds at 2,500 feet, few clouds at 4,900 feet. Temperature, 30. Dew 2.10. Altimeter 29.85. ILS 1 runway 28.
So everything's the same. Right? I mean ILS.
Acapulco Airport.
ILS 1, yes. Everything's the same. You can see some of those taller mountains there in the distance from along here. Of course, there's volcanoes in Mexico. How many volcanoes are in Mexico?
Searching for volcanoes in Mexico. There are different ways to answer this question, depending on how you define an active volcano and how you count the volcanoes in Mexico. According to the National Center for Disaster Prevention, there are 48 volcanoes in Mexico that are considered active, meaning that they have erupted in the last 10,000 years or show signs of activity such as fumaroles, seismicity, or deformation. Some of the most well-known active volcanoes in Mexico are Popocatépetl, Colima, Pico de Orizaba, and El Chichón. However, if you include all the volcanoes that have erupted in the geological past, regardless of their current activity, the number is much higher. According to Wikipedia, there are over 1,400 volcanoes in Mexico, most of them located in the Trans-Mexican Volcanic Belt, a volcanic arc that crosses the country from west to east.
That's interesting. There's more information there. I stopped her with that. Yeah, so Popocatépetl, I forget how you pronounce it, but that was going on right now, just south of Mexico City. We're not flying inland. Of course, Mexico City is altitude of 7,000. So what we do, or what we're planning on doing with our flight all the way down to the southern tip of South America and back, is we're planning on flying all along the coast. So all the way down there and all the way back will be along the coast. And I think, you know, this could be something that could really be done in real life in the Cessna 172. And you know, I think that would be, you know, if ever anybody ever wanted to do this in real life, that would be the way to go, because you don't have very many high altitude areas to deal with. Although it's interesting, I think, you know, some of the higher altitude runways that we've landed in so far on this trip were in probably Oregon and California. I think Santa Rosa, I forget, was, you know, how many hundreds of feet that was. Okay, so now you see how it's just kind of askew like this? And I had the roll right there. I had the roll right, roll left. Well, I took that out, but you can still press those two buttons that actually just straighten it out. So, but I don't have the roll left, roll right anymore, so I don't have to always constantly fight that. But I don't understand why Microsoft Flight Simulator, you know, whenever you go back to the drone, that it's askew like that. But it is. That's just the way it is. But at least I took out the roll left and roll right, and it looks like this area right here there's plans on developing it. Maybe it's not fully developed yet there. And so that looks like a pretty long spit, I guess you would call that. But there's not very many houses on there. Let's see if I can find that on the map here. That would be this area right here. And so this would be just I don't know if maybe they're planning on developing. There's some, looks like some development going on here, maybe some orange groves and whatnot. So yeah, that's interesting. A lot more land there to be developed. This is real-time weather. I do believe it's about 6:30 in the evening over there. I believe they're an hour ahead of Pacific Daylight Time, which is what I know. And well, just look at that, isn't that just, it's incredible, that beach there, all along there. And you could just have that beach all to yourself, you know. I mean, it's just, looks like miles and miles and miles of warm tropical beach, all the way down to Acapulco. Get away from the hustle and bustle of the city. Now, in Google Maps and then also Google Earth, all of Acapulco is photogrammetry, but I don't think that it's photogrammetry in Microsoft. I looked at the Microsoft Bing Maps and it didn't appear to be the photogrammetry. So maybe that's on down the line. We are 9 minutes away from our top descent. Acapulco, of course, being a little bit further south than Puerto Vallarta, but it is an international airport. And I want to look real quick just at Sky Vector. I mean, not Sky Vector, but at Flight Radar 24. Let's see, Acapulco, this is where we took off from, right over here. This is with the nail. And then Acapulco is right here. It doesn't look like, hey, there I am, that's me. November 5, 6, just kidding. Anyway, that is okay, that's it looks like a Pilatus PC-12 doing a little flight over the mountains there. So I don't know if we'll be able to see that or not. There's another one. That's a jet coming from Mexico City to Acapulco. All right, now we have our, you can hear the Morse code now for our ILS. That's India Alpha Charlie Alpha. So what we want to do, I guess real quickly, is look at the chart right here. I don't have the actual chart for the runway itself. I don't see the ILS here. So there's no ILS information on Sky Vector. There is a, okay, yeah, I don't see it. There's 1111. Yeah, it's not there. So, but I'm pretty sure that that one is the correct ILS for runway. Let's see, 28, because I have 109.90 active. We'll go ahead and turn that off now. We do have contact. I'm going to go ahead and zoom in a little bit. And top of descent here shortly. 6 minutes. Looks like probably maybe another shrimp farm down there. Right over this area right here. Mexico is popular, I guess, third in the world for shrimp farms. shrimp farm, fish farm, other kinds of seafood, no doubt. So now this area right here, can you imagine just maybe getting a, you know, Airbnb or something like that? I'm sure that there's probably a few of that over here. But this area right here, it looks like it's really nice. And there is a runway here. This is not our destination, but there is a runway there. And so we're getting a little bit closer to Acapulco there and some of the outskirts, some of the areas there just outside of the city. That almost like a little landing strip right there. Well, we didn't have any activity, anything from, okay, maybe it's because I didn't see the approach. Huh?
Acapulco approach Cessna November Charlie 77 Charlie Charlie 7000
well, I was tuned
feet.
to the other frequency.
Cessna November Charlie 77 Charlie Charlie Acapulco approach altimeter 29.86. Continue as planned.
See if she talks to anybody. So, some beautiful mountain regions there, and beautiful coastal regions, a big cove right there, and that's Acapulco right there, right ahead of us, and you can see the mountainous regions there. And back up on the Acapulco, the cities right there, and then the runways past it. So what we're going to do, looks like we're going to just go ahead and we'll go to our initial approach routes, which is right, looks like right over the runway at 3,000 feet, and then we'll be circling right around. We should get a good look at the city there. We are now 2 minutes, 29 seconds. Go ahead and go to top of descent first, and then we'll contact the runway. Going down there a little bit toward Acapulco. So a hilly region. I'm going to go ahead and press both buttons again and kind of straighten that out. It looks like at this point, Acapulco is non-photogrammetry. Still looks very good. Real-time time, real-time weather. Okay, I don't want my autopilot to go off. Alt-Z. I press Control-Z to turn off my autopilot. I wanted to see my temperature. Temperature for the GPU is 76. We are now on our descent. Just reached top of descent. Backing off now on the power. Got a 2-knot headwind, and I'm going to go ahead and contact now the airport. That would be Mike Alpha Alpha Tower, and then I'm going to ask for a full stop
Acapulco
landing.
Tower, Cessna November Charlie 77 Charlie Charlie is 11 miles northwest 6,500 feet with echo to land.
Echo to land, and
November
it's
Charlie
right in front of
77
us,
Charlie Charlie Acapulco
the
Tower.
runway.
Altimeter 29.85 with 165 at 5. Make left downwind runway 28.
Enter left traffic
Just
runway
right ahead of
28
us,
Cessna
right
7
there,
Charlie
right
Charlie.
where my flashing arrow is. And there it is, Acapulco, Mexico. With the famous beaches and the famous hotels. Real-time weather, real-time time. Well, I can smell the smoke from all of the fireworks and whatnot going off outside. Been kind of a dry July for us so far. A lot of times we have crummy weather, actually kind of cool, sometimes polar, not cold, but cool for the northwest weather. Until usually, a lot of times there's a joke that summer doesn't start until July 5th. But this year, we've had some pretty warm weather. And so, consequently, it's been pretty dry as well. And because of that, there's definitely some smoke in the air. It's kind of stagnant air right now on the side. And that's in Bremerton, Washington. But of course, we are in Acapulco, Mexico, on our descent. We are descending to 3,000 feet at our initial approach phase. And then the next one will be Alpha Charlie Alpha 8.0 at 2,000. And then Charlie Foxtrot 28 at 2,000. And then Foxtrot 28, which is our final approach phase, at 1,300. What I want to do too is I'm going to go ahead. Well, I don't know if I'm going to need to. I was going to go ahead and get my approach as well. I can't because I'm actually doing the ILS. I'm not doing the RV. I think what's going to happen when we circle around, I've got all of my vertical path loaded right now, and we're following along that vertical path. But when we circle around, I think what's going to happen is my CDI, course deviation indicator, is going to change from GPS mode to frequency mode. What time is the sun going to set in Acapulco, Mexico?
Searching for sunset time in Acapulco, Mexico. According to the weather information, the sun is going to set in Acapulco, Mexico at 7:17 p.m. local time on July 4th, 2023. That means you will have about 13 hours and 7 minutes of daylight on that day.
Okay, so we should still have enough time to go out and get some dinner and enjoy the sunset. .17 p.m. local time. What time is it right now in Acapulco, Mexico?
Searching for current time in Acapulco, Mexico.
.34.
The current time in Acapulco, Mexico is 6:34 p.m. on.
So 6:34, we'll get down there and we'll secure the plane. We'll find a good restaurant there. Okay, we are now at altitude. We'll stick to 3,000 for a little bit, and it looks like our this is interesting that we're circling around here. Yeah, that was interesting doing that. So we're staying at 3,000 for now. I adjusted my power accordingly. So what we're going to do now is we're going to circle around. And the V path, go ahead and type in vertical navigation again. No? Okay. Vertical navigation is loaded again. We are following along on the V path. We should start descending here again now, 2,000. That was unexpected how I kind of flipped to the left there and then flipped back out to the right. So we are now slowly descending again. It's about 6:35 in the evening over in Acapulco, Mexico. There's our top of descent right there. You can see the little plane right there with my flashing hand. Okay, now we are descending. Backing off a little bit on the power again. I'm going to quickly check my fuel we have. 18 gallons remaining. Use 9.7. Still have my mixture on lean. About 2,600. I'll go ahead and push the mixture to full range mixture. It's like a little bit away from the city there. It gets pretty rural again. The city is behind us. can't really even see the city anymore with the haze. I'm curious as to whether the CDI is going to... Again, I am not a professional pilot. I'm not a pilot at all. Never even been in a Cessna before. Been a flight simmer since back in the days when they had Microsoft Flight Simulator 98. I think even before that. I can't quite remember, but I believe that 98 was the first version that I ever bought. And that was just a two-dimensional cockpit there. And then I think in 2000 they came out with a three-dimensional, and of course 2004 they had a Century of Flight. I still have that metal box, Century of Flight. So we got a BOD right here, and that's our next approach fix. Alpha Charlie Alpha 8.0 should be at 2,000 feet here, just at about 2,000. And then we're going to start making our turn. We're going back toward the runway. Runway 28, hope we're landing that. We already made contact with the tower. I guess this would be left traffic. It's going to be flying right toward the sunset there. Some more beautiful beaches down there. We got another top of descent right here. So right now we're maintaining 2,000. And then the next top of descent will bring us to 1,300, which is our final approach fix. Looks like we have an airplane AMX 308. Real quickly, see if we can find this. That's that plane right there coming in from Mexico City. And it looks like it's coming in for a landing as well. Now it looks like we have, it's interesting they have the landing on runway 28. We have the one behind us. You can see that plane right there. That's on the, this right here. There's the plane.
Acapulco Tower, Air Mexico,
Air Mexico, and they're going to be going behind us. Okay, now I'm going to hit approach. You can see our CDI did switch over to frequency mode, which we are now on a localizer. So that's the plane right there on the same, okay, they're going to be cleared to land, so we're going to go behind them. Now I'm backing off on my tower, the glide slope is active. are now on the glide slope. So that one's coming in from Mexico City. That would be Mike X-ray. Landing at Mike Alpha Alpha. And so a lot of those folks from Mexico City, they're looking forward to some coastal vacation there.
Cessna 7 Charlie Charlie, follow the generic on final. Wind 165 at 5. Clear to land runway 28.
Clear to land runway 28 Cessna 7 Charlie Charlie.
We do have a little bit of a side wind. Maybe it'll shift a little bit more closer to the surface. And now it's about a 7 knot side wind. Flaps 1. Adjusting the power reporting. Keeping it around 80 knots for our approach. And then when we get there, we'll go ahead and bring it down to about 78 knots, which is a good glide speed. 68 knots, which is a good, where the G is right there. So that plane, the letters for it disappeared. Apparently it landed. Power a little bit, 780. I still don't see the, okay, now I see the 680. Got my feet on the rudder pedals. Full flaps. Adjust power. Brings our nose down a little bit. Get to about the glide speed there. Landing right into the sun. Imagine what those pilots have to deal with.
500.
Looks like we're off. We're skew a little bit. Again, we got about a 3 knot side wind pushing us off to the left. Left of runway. Or off to the right of runway, I guess. Pushing the runway off to our left. Okay, the autopilot is off. Flying by hand. Increasing a little bit of power. Got plenty of runways. We aim for those 1,000-foot mark, 1,000-foot marker right there, right where the happy lights are. If we are when we're past, that's line 2. Probably the taxi load is way down there. Power to idle. Go ahead and flare. On the ground, flaps up.
Cessna 7 Charlie Charlie, turn next taxiway.
I don't understand why this is flashing like this. This is something new since the last update there from last Saturday. For that to flash like that, and I think it's probably related maybe to the mouse side acting wonky too. So I'm not sure exactly what's going on there. I do remember that happening before with a previous update. So perhaps someone one of those bugs that they got rid of before got reintroduced. So we'll go ahead and contact them.
118.5 for Cessna 7 Charlie Charlie.
That would be for parking. We want 3.
Acapulco ground Cessna November Charlie 77 Charlie
We are in
Charlie request
Acapulco,
taxi to parking.
Mexico. Welcome to
Cessna
Acapulco.
November Charlie 77 Charlie Charlie taxi to
24A.
general aviation parking using taxiway Alpha cross runway 24 Alpha.
Okay.
Taxiing to general aviation parking via taxiway Alpha cross runway 24 Alpha Cessna 7 Charlie Charlie.
a little bit of ways away there. I always like to have this taxi ribbon on there because, you know, in real life, what pilots do is they'll call up a big chart. Actually, even electronically, they call up a big chart there and just follow it right along. So here's the runway, I believe, that we're crossing. Cross that one there. And we can go to the Acapulco there. Get our, we're meeting some people here. And what we're going to do is we're going to go to a really fancy restaurant here right along the beach and watch the sunset. And we're gonna have I'm going to have a shrimp dinner. I'm just in the mood for seafood tonight. Alrighty, and here we are. We have arrived. And that guy right there, man, he's good. He gets around. Both of those guys, they really get around. I mean, they get there before I do. I don't know how they do it. But anyway, we're going to go ahead and shut off all of our lights here. And we're going to make this guy disappear. I don't know about that guy. He's always sticking around. Even in the rain, when I landed a couple of flights ago, landed in the middle of the rain, that guy was still there. He's just dedicated. So we'll go ahead and shut that off, and this guy right here is going to just take off. Go ahead and shut off the engine. There he goes. He's gone. Where'd he go? And we'll go ahead and acknowledge. And I don't think there's any air traffic. I'm keeping my battery on in case we have any air traffic while we explore Acapulco real quick. So we go ahead, and there's the plane there, the one from Mexico City. And that one again, I think is a, what plane was that? That was the, real quickly, that's this plane right here, Aero Mexico. So there she is. And going back to our drone here, we'll go ahead and F6 right here. There's the one, the Aero Mexico plane that just came in from Mexico City. And real quickly, we'll go to Acapulco. One of these days, you're going to get Acapulco in photogrammetry, being as Google Maps already has Acapulco in photogrammetry. So, but so if you look at Acapulco in the Google Earth, it's all photogrammetry, but here is Acapulco. Acapulco, Mexico. I can imagine being on top of a building here. What kind of grand views do you have here? That's just amazing. So welcome to Acapulco. I'm gonna go ahead and try to get me a good shot there. Print screen. Print screen. All right, somebody's driving crazy. I heard some skid marks. Print screen. Acapulco. Beautiful evening here. The sun's about ready to set in Acapulco, Mexico. Looks like some weather there on the horizon. There's just so many good pictures here. All right. Well, Fred, I hope you have a good night. And we'll type to you later. Welcome to Acapulco, Mexico.